Hi, everybody. As you are joining us, can you please make sure your microphones are muted and please turn off your cameras? We're just going to have our speakers on camera today. So if you could mute your microphones and turn off your cameras, we'd appreciate it. Again, if you could turn off your cameras and just be sure your microphones are muted. We do have some tips on the screen that we're sharing with you right now that'll just say for the best way to view the presentation in Teams, if you go to the More button, which is the three dots, and you click on that, it'll give you an option to select Focus on Content. So when you select Focus on Content, it'll just basically zoom in to everybody that's speaking at the time and kind of get rid of all the clutter that may be happening on your screen so you can see the content. I do want to just let everybody know that we are recording today's presentation. So audio and video is being recorded today. So without further introduction, I'm going to hand things over to Mr. Mike Pennington, Executive Director at PCCD.
Thank you, Jenny, and good afternoon, everyone. I am Mike Pennington, Executive Director of the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency. Welcome to the 2022 Governor's Victim Service Pathfinder Award Ceremony. On behalf of Governor Tom Wolf, our Chairman Charles Ramsey, and PCCD's Office of Victim Services, I'm very pleased and excited that you have joined us this afternoon. Today, we have the honor of distributing the Governor's Victim Services Pathfinder Awards to recognize 7 awardees who have demonstrated a true commitment to victim services in Pennsylvania. This award highlights their accomplishments and honors their significant impacts on their communities and the victim service field. Recognizing these awardees is the result of a coordinated effort between PCCD's Office of Victim Services and the incredible volunteers from victim service agencies throughout Pennsylvania who diligently reviewed all the nominations that were submitted. And I'd like to thank all of those folks so very much for your assistance in this awards process. And for that matter, I'd like to extend my kudos and thanks to the entire staff of the Office of Victim Services for your services in general. The Commonwealth would not be where it is today without your passion and stewardship for victims. Now it is my pleasure to introduce our Master of Ceremonies this afternoon, Mr. John Delaney. John is the Director of the Office of Investigations at the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. He also graciously serves as the Chair for the Victim Services Advisory Committee at PCCD and represents this committee as a member of the PCCD Commission. So, John, I'll now turn the ceremony over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Let me add my welcome to Mike's to the 2022 Governor's Pathfinder Victim Services Awards. This is a especially gratifying occasion for me to not just join with the staff of the Office of Victim Services and the anonymous volunteers on the selection committee, but it's an occasion to recognize the outstanding work of agencies and individuals across the Commonwealth who serve victims of crime. Because it's the right thing to do, not because they're looking for recognition. So to be able to recognize people in that way is particularly gratifying. Before we start, I just want to remind us of the awardees from last year, those who were awarded Pathfinder Awards in 2021. Tatiana Piper from the Pennsylvania Coalition Against Rape, who received the Individual Direct Service Award. Karen Wittes of Philadelphia, who was the Survivor Activist Award winner. Kelly Sagastume from Project Protect, the Individual Prevention, Education, and Outreach Award recipient. Domino's Pizza of Lewistown, who received the Community Service Award. Crisis Center North's Mobile Advocacy Program, who was the recipient of the Program Award. And finally, the Center for Inclusion Health in Pittsburgh, who received the Allied Service Professional Award. You can learn more about these award winners and their achievements by accessing PCCD's YouTube channel or watching the 2020 Pathfinder Virtual Awards that took place last October. Mike asked me to be the MC today because I can handle a meeting with 2 agenda items. The first is our keynote address. We're very fortunate to have Karen with us today. Karen is the survivor of a vicious and violent attack that ultimately changed her life forever. As a teenager, her ex-boyfriend savagely and brutally attacked her, physically and sexually assaulting her and leaving her for dead. As part of her recovery, Karen has become a very zealous advocate for victims in the Commonwealth to give them a voice and to give their families a voice by speaking publicly about her experiences. Among many of her achievements, one that stands out is Karen's advocacy for Karen's Law. She worked diligently with the Pennsylvania state legislature, advocacy organizations, and others to get a bill passed to enhance the services to victims of the Commonwealth. Karen's Law was signed into law by Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf on November 25th, 2020. In recognition of her past and continuing advocacy work, Karen has been presented with many recognitions, not the least of which was last year's Governor's Victim Services Pathfinder Award for Survivor Activist. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor to introduce to you for our keynote address, Karen Wittes.
Hello, it's an absolute honor to be here with you today. Being a survivor of rape and attempted murder, I often look back and think to myself, why was my life spared that day? I don't think that there will ever be one specific answer to that question. However, I want to use this life that I have been given as a survivor to help other victims of violent crime to the best of my ability. The physical and emotional scars will be with us for the rest of our lives. That much is a painful certainty. Yet it is truly amazing to look around and see where this journey has taken me. It is certainly not a journey that I could have ever anticipated or planned for, but it is a journey that I sincerely hope is making a real, positive difference in the lives of other survivors by turning something so horrific and traumatic into something so ultimately positive and beneficial. We sometimes think of all of the injustices in the world and ask, why doesn't someone do something about all of this? Well, I'm here to say that we are someone, and we are certainly doing something about it. In fact, we are doing a great deal, far more than many even realize, and we should all be very proud of that. As survivors, we know all too well that our fight does not end with the initial crime itself. On the contrary, we continue to battle every obstacle that comes our way, and those battles and obstacles are many. This is the harsh reality of a crime victim. It means everything to us having the emotional support of a knowledgeable, dedicated advocate to guide us through what are invariably some of the worst days of our lives. You give us the strength and the hope for a better, safer tomorrow. I know firsthand what it means to have the support of the many advocates throughout the years who have been by my side from the very beginning until this very day. From my lengthy stay in the hospital, throughout my physical recovery, to grueling court proceedings, repeated parole board testimonies, and even sitting beside me at the Pennsylvania Capitol building as a bill inspired by my story, which bears my name, was introduced, passed, and eventually became final law here in Pennsylvania. The work that you do as victim service professionals is so critical to the ongoing mental health and well-being of survivors. I want to sincerely and personally thank you all from the bottom of my heart for the tireless work that you do and for the selfless dedication that you have shown in devoting your time, energy, and even much of your lives to. The benefit and profound impact that your dedication has had on survivors is truly priceless. You are the unsung heroes, the ones who selflessly give of themselves without fanfare or praise. This is your time to be acknowledged for everything that you do for those who are most in need. Thank you. And finally, I would like to directly address my fellow survivors and loved ones of violent crime and murder victims. When things are at their darkest, try to remember that it is okay to have good days as well as bad days. In fact, it's perfectly normal and to be expected. Everything that we do to overcome and every second that we spend just trying to be okay in general comes from the incredible strength from within us. Even if we don't always realize that that strength is there, especially early on, but it is there. And it allows us to go on and even to accomplish amazing things in spite of all that we have been through. These are our stories. These are our journeys. And this is our collective strength and power. Although each and every one of our stories and experiences are completely different and unique, we share a formidable and remarkable bond. It is very important to remember that we are not and never need be alone in this. In closing, I wish to again express my sincerest and heartfelt gratitude to all of the victim service professionals for your challenging yet amazing work that you do for survivors. You have truly earned these accolades and this acknowledgement in every way. The work that you do is invaluable and the results speak for themselves. Congratulations and thank you so much for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen, for your words, your resilience, your service, your advocacy, and most of all, for your inspiration. We're indebted to you. The second item on our agenda is the conferral of the 7 Governor's Pathfinder Victim Services Awards. These are established as a way to honor and recognize individuals and organizations that have shown a commitment to enhancing the lives of crime victims in the Commonwealth. Our first award is the Survivor Activist Award. The recipient must, by virtue of his or her victimization, have channeled their experience into a visible contribution to the victim services movement in Pennsylvania. They must possess a spirit of empowerment and made a notable impact on the victim services field. Please join me now as we watch the video of the Survivor Activist Award winner.
thank you, PCCD and the committee for selecting me for this prestigious honor. First, I would like to thank God for this as well. To my family, my friends, my survivor family, and fellow warriors, and also my colleagues for supporting me along this journey and allowing me to do this work that I absolutely love. It is truly an honor to be a recipient of this award. I don't believe that anyone wakes up and dreams to be a survivor or an activist. Better yet, this role is normally one that an individual doesn't choose, rather it chooses you. I know entering into this realm of work, I was told that I don't want to be known as a survivor, as if there is a negative connotation attached to that title. As if there is a negative connotation that's attached to this title. I know entering in this realm of work, it didn't seem that I wanted to be a survivor. As society learned more about survivors of sexual assault, it was this notion from those who are on the outside looking in that people grabbed that chance to be known as a survivor because it gave access to money and fame. But those who have not lived with or worked with or journeyed with alongside of survivors have no idea how far that is from the truth. Better yet, it is the total opposite. The cost of being a survivor is real. The grace it takes to live beyond that. But it also can be a beautiful experience underneath it all. Through being a survivor in survivor spaces and working with survivors daily, it allowed me insight uh, into the knowledge to see that there's a fine line between sharing your truth and hiding because of what others thought about this particular experience. But as time went on, I realized that I no longer needed to adopt that shame. That the questions posed, wouldn't you rather be known for something you created than this thing that happened to you long ago? My answer boldly shifted to no. I want to be remembered for what really happened to me, for living in my truth, no matter how ugly it may be. Note that the things I was most afraid to share or thought was out of the norm have become the very thing that have been a catalyst for change, changing people's hearts, minds, and including laws. I want to be known for surviving the odds and becoming exactly who I am today. One who has given herself time to reclaim her joy, one who lives her life out loud and on purpose, creating change, the change that I wish to see in this world, while giving others license to do the same. The late, great John Lewis said it like this: when you see something that is not right, not fair, not just, you have to speak up. You have to say something. You have to do something. And sometimes that something is just being exactly who you are. To speak through the way you live, speak through how you show up in the world, speak through just being you. This award right here is for every survivor who fought to be who they are, no matter the odds, in spite of what the trauma taught them or told them. Continue to just be. Thank you.
Thank you, Lakeisha, for being you, for speaking up, and for your advocacy. Congratulations on your award. Our second award this year is the Outstanding Student Activist Award. The recipient must currently attend school or a post-secondary educational institution or have graduated within the past 12 months. He or she must demonstrate activism for crime victims while being a full-time student. They must make a visible contribution and impact upon the victim services movement in Pennsylvania. Please join me as we watch the video to learn about this year's Outstanding Student Activist.
Thank you guys for coming. Um, Seeing all you guys here really means a lot to me for taking time out of your day. I just wanted to say thank you to my SARC team. You guys are the best and I love you all. Thank you to all my friends for supporting me through my journey. You guys are my real family and my day ones. This award means a lot to me because when I started my activist journey, I had nothing but ideas and plans that I wanted to do in the future, especially with the sexual harassment and the sexual abuse that goes on in Lebanon, PA. I wanted to shed a light on my community, and I wanted everyone to know that there is always hope. You're not alone, that things will get better. All the things that I've gone through and still am, I can definitely say that I'm so proud of myself and I'm excited to continue my activist journey. This award goes out to my friends, my family, the Hispanic, Black, and LGBTQ community that have gone through abuse that has been ignored. There is a quote that Lady Gaga stated, and she said, I really hope that anyone watching this today hears that the most important people to change the world is you. I'm not looking to the government to change my life. I'm not looking towards the next president. I'm not looking toward our next world leaders. I'm looking at everyone in this room. I mean, you are culture. Thank you.
Congratulations, Amaya, and thank you so much for your courage and for your activism. Our next award is the Individual Direct Service Award. The recipient must show a history of outstanding service in meeting the needs of victims, possess a spirit of empowerment, which is reflected in their enthusiasm and innovation in meeting the needs of victims, and exhibit creativity and innovation in providing services to victims and advocating for their rights. Please join me as we watch the next video for our Individual Direct Service Award winner.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank everyone involved in nominating me and providing letters of recommendation for me. I would like to thank the committee for their work in reviewing the applications and for choosing me as this year's awardee. I would like to thank the organizers of this ceremony for all of their work that they put into making the ceremony possible. I would like to thank my coworkers and other colleagues who have been supporting me and making it possible for me to continue doing this work. I would like to thank specifically Mary Byler of the Misfit Amish and Plain Rainbows for their work with me and for making the shirt and bag featured in that video. I would also like to thank the survivors who have trusted me with their stories and trusted me to provide services to them. Lastly, I would like to utilize this platform to uplift a resource that has deeply impacted my advocacy work. This resource I first received during a training that was co-facilitated by last year's Individual Direct Service awardee, Tatiana Piper. The resource is The Characteristics of White Supremacy Culture. I keep a printout of a list of these characteristics within eyesight while sitting at my desk, and I use it to notice when white supremacy culture pops up in my day-to-day life and even in my own actions, and to guide my advocacy and anti-oppression work. I hope that folks listening to this will take some time to review those characteristics of white supremacy culture and to integrate an understanding of them into your lives as advocates and as community members. Thank you again to everyone involved in honoring me as this year's Individual Direct Service Award recipient.
Thank you, Jen, for your courage and your identifying, confronting, and breaking down barriers in Clinton County and throughout the Commonwealth. Congratulations. We next turn our attention to the Individual Prevention Education and Outreach Award, which is given to a recipient who shows a history of outstanding service in the development and provision of educational programs as a victim services practitioner in an eligible program. The recipient must exhibit creativity and innovation in providing education and information about victim services and victim rights within the community. Please join me now as we watch the video for this year's Individual Prevention Education and Outreach Award.
Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. I have to say, it's been a lot to watch all of my colleagues receiving these really amazing awards. And I'm just really honored to be surrounded by such amazing people. Sorry, I'm very emotional. Like a true preventionist, I wrote a whole script and then I just kind of throw it out, right? I just wanted to thank everyone here at PCCD, all of my colleagues that I currently work with, my colleagues that I have worked with in the past at Laurel House, at PCAR, all of my really amazing supervisors who have really helped me along the way in all of this, right? We're doing such amazing work, such powerful work for survivors. And it's just so amazing to see all of the work that folks across the state are doing. I'm just really honored to be able to be here with you all. So I'm gonna hop out of here before I cry and I get emotional too much. I just wanted to thank you all so much for being here.
Thank you, Lydia, for your outstanding education, prevention, and outreach work. We really appreciate all that you are doing and will do. Our next award goes to the Allied Professional. This recipient must show a history of outstanding service in meeting the needs of victims in collaboration with the Pennsylvania Victim Service Program. The recipient must possess a spirit of empowerment, which is reflected in their enthusiasm in meeting the needs of victims, and must exhibit creativity and innovation in helping crime victims. Please join me now as we watch the video for this year's Allied Professional Award winner.
Hello, everybody. First of all, thank you to Dauphin County Victim Witness Association for nominating me for this award, and to everybody involved in choosing the recipients for picking me out of a group that I'm sure was very qualified to receive it as well. I came to prosecution from a very different background than most. I was a social worker working in the child welfare system, doing investigations into child sexual abuse alongside the police, where for the first time in my life, I got a front row seat to the criminal justice system and realized that while many prosecutors had their hearts in the right place and cared deeply about what they were doing, there was this missing link of being able to talk to victims, to engage children. And I had this ability to build rapport and to get them to speak to me. And so 12 years ago, I left the child welfare system and went to law school for the sole purpose of becoming a child abuse prosecutor, because I thought that my social work skills, my ability to engage victims, to build rapport, to get them to talk to me, could lead to more successful prosecutions and maybe less trauma for victims as they went through the process. And I can look back now and see that there might have been a big ego in that decision making back when I was in my early 20s and just thought that I could do better. But 12 years later, as I sit here and receive this award, recognition for the work that I've done, it's validation for the decisions that I made back then. And there's nothing that I've done that I've done alone. So thank you to every experienced detective, victim advocate, prosecutor who worked with me, taught me to do the things that I do. I appreciate you all, and I wouldn't be here without you. Thank you.
Thank you, Katie, for your tireless efforts on behalf of child victims. And as a former longtime child abuse prosecutor, let me say we're particularly proud that you made the career choice that you made. Thank you. Our next award is the Community Service Award, presented to someone or agency who has made a visible contribution and impact upon the victim services movement in their community. This often means in collaboration with a local victim service provider to enhance outreach efforts. Let's join now as we watch the video of this year's Community Service Award winner.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jamie. I'm the Director of Community Outreach for the YMCA of Center County. I'm also the lead trainer and coordinator for all of our Darkness to Light Stewards of Children trainings in Center County. I would like to start off by thanking Dawn McKee, the Special Projects Coordinator for Center Safe and the person who nominated us for this award. She has always been an advocate of the Y and an awesome volunteer throughout the years. For those of you who don't know, Darkness to Light Stewards of Children is a 2-hour child sexual abuse prevention training program that equips and empowers adults to build safe environments that protect children from sexual abuse. Our initiative started over 10 years ago as a direct result of the Jerry Sandusky scandal. To date, we have trained over 8,100 adults to prevent, recognize, and react responsibly to child sexual abuse. Our anti-hunger program has had boots on the ground since March of 2020. Since that time, we have served over 97,000 families, consisting of almost 200,000 individuals. We've provided over 33,000 frozen meals and over 6.9 million pounds of food to the local community. So before we started this training, or excuse me, before we started this ceremony, I was trying to prop this award up so you guys could see it just by grabbing various objects around me. And I would like to show you some of the objects that are around me. So there's just food around us everywhere all the time. So with that being said, I would like to thank the director of our anti-hunger program, Mel Curtis. Mel, he's one of the hardest working guys out there. So thank you, Mel. Our initiatives wouldn't be possible without, financial contributions from generous donors and support from our executive board, advisory committees, our CEO, Scott Mitchell, our coworkers, the Better Together collaboration, community partners, Darkness to Light, and every director at the YMCA. So every director at the YMCA of Center County works incredibly hard to train all of their staff and volunteers in Darkness to Light Stewards of Children. They're always coming up with new and fun ways to support the anti-hunger program and to raise funds for that. So, this award belongs to them as well. I encourage, every community, every county, every youth serving organization, every Y to do what we did here. Come together, build alliances, expand your reach, strengthen your advocacy voice, protect children, and feed the hungry. So it truly does take a collaborative community effort to prevent child sexual abuse and to end hunger. So again, thank you to everyone who has supported us to this point. We're not slowing down. If anything, this award empowers us to do more and to work harder. So for more information about Darkness to Light, please visit d2l.org. Again, that's d2l.org. For more information about the YMCA of Center County, our anti-hunger program, and our child sexual abuse initiative, please visit ymcaocc.org. Again, that's ymcaocc.org. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Jamie, and your team in Center County for your outstanding work. Our final award is the Individual Organizational Capacity Building Award. This is presented to a recipient who must demonstrate a history of enhancing the capacity of their eligible Pennsylvania Victim Service program. The recipient must have accomplishments of enhancing services to crime victims as a result of their organizational capacity building. The nominee must have helped the organization become less reliant on government funds and demonstrate ethical and accountable practices in program operations, human resources, financial management, governance, and fundraising. The nominee must exhibit creativity and innovation in enhancing the capacity of their organization, which in turn enhances services to crime victims. Please join me now as we watch the video revealing this year's Individual Organizational Capacity Award recipient.
Hi, I am Cheryl's son Derek, and I will be accepting this award on her behalf. My mother was only 5'4", so like her, I'll keep this short and sweet. First, I'd like to thank the governor, his staff, and the incredible team at the Victim Services Office for selecting her and giving me this opportunity to speak. I'd also like to thank them for not only highlighting my mother's achievements as a person, but as an active force in the community, making a difference in people's everyday lives. And finally, I'd like to thank Mandy Billman and the YWCA of Lancaster for nominating her. I'd also like to thank the Y for the incredible support they showed after her passing. My mother never worked for the recognition, she did it to help people. I know she would be so overwhelmed and proud to be receiving this honor. Once again, I'd like to thank the governor, his staff, and the team at the Office of Victim Services for this incredible opportunity to be recognized. Thank you.
Thank you, Derek. Your mom certainly left a lasting legacy for you, for the YWCA in Lancaster, and for all of us. This brings us to the conclusion of this year's 2022 Governor's Pathfinder Victim Services Award. A few thank yous are in order. Thank you to all of our award recipients. Congratulations, and we greatly appreciate all your extraordinary work. Thanks to all of you who work in the victim services field, not for the recognition, but because you know it's the right thing and because you know our fellow citizens need you. Thanks to Jenny Sigler and her staff at the Office of Victim Services who put on this ceremony, and especially to Mike Reich, whose time, energy, and talent created the presentations for our award winners. I leave you with two requests. One, as inspired as we are by the stories that we saw today about our award winners, to carry that inspiration with you throughout the upcoming year as you continue your service to crime victims in the Commonwealth. And two, to keep in the back of your mind as you saw these stories, you probably thought there's somebody in my organization or agency or town or county who's done outstanding work. It would be great if they were recognized. Well, early next year, when the 2023 nominations open for next year's Governor's Pathfinder Services Award, I hope you'll remember that and nominate an outstanding individual organization, and hope to see them recognized this time next year when we award the 2023 Pathfinder Awards. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day.